Good. How are you doing?
Recording in progress.
Great, 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 great.
All right, so yeah, if we could start with the introductions.
Okay. Let me go first.
Yes, sir.
Okay. My name is Stephen Miller. I am 25 years old. I am an executive chef and CEO of a catering and private chef experience company called To Go For Your Soul, based in Columbus, Ohio. I started my company in 2020 during a pandemic. I have about 8 years of culinary experience. So really started the company just because working in the restaurant industry, I was actually at a private chef club downtown in Columbus. I was working there for about 4 years. Just wanted to kind of get my feet wet in the entrepreneurial realm. I feel like I had enough culinary experience at the time to be able to do my own thing. Started off just selling meals, something small, be able to get my name out there, just using marketing such as social media, Instagram, Facebook, things like that. And then kind of grew from there, slowly but surely, get into the catering game. Just started using different marketing methods in order to gain my clients, things like that over the years. Just really started finding my niche as far as more of luxury client experiences. When I was at the club, I basically was cooking for a lot of CEOs and things like that. Unfortunately, I didn't have access to these people just due to the policies of the company. So I didn't really like that too much. I was gaining the experience, but didn't gain the connections there to be able to basically get ahead in the field like I wanted to. So I had to basically create my own lane. Just in due time through obvious trial and error, able to be able to create a network that will help me to get into the luxury catering field, private chef experiences, which usually with our private chef experiences are multi-course meals that are curated custom. Everything's custom for us. We like to give every client a special, intimate, one of a kind experience for their event, just to make it more special for them and what they got going on with their occasion. Okay. Um, that is pretty much it for now. So thank you guys for letting me explain myself a little bit. Really hear what everybody else has to say in the background.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kailah Ware. I am from Cincinnati, Ohio. I own a creative agency called Sunny Blue, and our tagline is moving mission forward. So we work with a lot of nonprofits and philanthropic organizations to help them move their mission forward through creative tactics. And that looks like video production, brand development, culture development, and community engagement. Those are our like four pillars of services that we offer. I'm 31 years old. I've been doing this now for about 7 years. I absolutely love it. I work with a variety of nonprofits and, like I said, philanthropic organizations to see how can we get their message out. I always say it's usually not about what you're saying, it's about how you're saying it, right? So a lot of these organizations are like, hey, we want to save the world, we want to solve this social issue, we want to connect folks to resources, and all of those things are great things. These are things that people love and need. But if you don't communicate with your target audience, if you don't communicate correctly or in a way that's culturally relevant or interesting, then you probably won't be able to engage with as many people as you possibly could. So we really work with connecting the product to the service to the intended target audience. And so, before I did this, I am trained as a filmmaker. That's what I got my degree in at Wright State with a minor in studio art. So I've always been an artist. I work on different documentary projects. I worked in the film industry for about 5 years before I started my company. And yeah, so that's a little bit about me and what I have to offer as Sunny Blue in my business.
Awesome.
Hey, Oscar, I think you're on mute, it looks like, or is it just me? never mind. Go ahead. Hold on here. Chef Stephen and Kayla, can you guys hear Oscar? Oh yeah, Oscar, we can hear you.
Yeah.
So I guess in the meantime,
Can you hear me now?
yeah, now we can hear you. There we go.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know why, but I always struggle with this type of technology. By the way, so you can hear me now, right? Okay. All right. So, yeah, very briefly, I'm Oscar from Milan, Italy. And 5 years ago, when I was 25-ish, I started freelancing because I understood that digital marketing and in general marketing was my way. So was my call. So at the beginning, for the first couple of years, I offered many different services. So I was pretty much doing everything, uh, ads management, copywriting. I was even calling the leads. So I was doing pretty much everything. And at one point, I basically was helping this e-learning startup in Italy. And I figured out that in order to scale, they needed technology. So I helped them with the CRM setup and with automating and streamlining their services, sorry, their processes. And at that point, I thought, okay, um, there is a gap in the market because there is a huge need for implementing tech stacks in the businesses, but not many people know how to do so because they either have strategic knowledge about the processes,
Hey, Oscar.
tech stacks in the businesses, but not many people know how to do so because they either have. So can you hear me well?
Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry, keep going.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So I was saying that basically I saw a gap in the market. Usually professionals would know either strategic knowledge about the processes, sales and marketing and so on, or technical knowledge about setting up the tools. So I was like, I got the two of them. So now I want to focus only on this type of service, meaning helping companies streamline and automate the processes, whether it's sales, marketing, operations, reporting, and so on. And this is what I have been doing in the last couple of years. So yes.
Love it. Like, so two questions for Kayla and Oscar, and then I have a question for Stephen. Since both of you in marketing, how do you balance multitasking?
I mean, I feel like that's kind of the name of the game, right? So one thing that has helped me as my business has grown, I've become a great delegator. I wasn't always a great delegator. I was very much so, hey, I need to do it my way, and this is the way. And then I was having to juggle too many things. And I do think multitasking is like an essential skill to being an entrepreneur, but sometimes I think it can be a hindrance and it can set you back. Where you can start to see what can I do to offload some of my tasks and responsibilities, to then be able to have your business flourish. One thing I always like to say, I was working in my business a lot and not on my business. And now, as I've had the opportunity to kind of get some breathing room, it's been great to not have to multitask as much, but put more on the managerial hat to make sure that things get done that needs to get done to keep the company moving forward.
Yeah, in my case, I am not a fan of a multitasking, meaning especially when you don't have a 10 people, 20 people team, you need to focus on the 20% that generates the 80% of results. So I think that the ability of an entrepreneur or of a manager is always understanding what's the 20% that brings 80% of the results. So I try to make a list of those activities that bring the 80% of the results, and I try to focus all my time on those activities. And then I think the term in English is time chunking, something like that. So I try always to divide my time in little pieces and try not to switch from one task to another one. So this is how I organize my time.
Awesome. And Chef Steven, you went from working only in Columbus to now working all over. Can you share a little bit about that and just the different cities, states you're able to visit just in the last year?
Yeah, so I personally love to travel. My team loves to travel. My sous chefs, any servers, bartenders that work with me that I collab with within the city. So really just basically wanted to find the same type of market in different areas around the country. Recently, I've traveled to Chicago. I'm actually out in LA, Long Beach area today for a event. Kentucky, Louisville, Frankfurt area, Detroit, all over Ohio, as far as Cleveland, Cincinnati, and suburbs of Cincinnati, Dayton areas, Indianapolis, Chicago, like I said. So just those are just the most recent places that I've visited. Basically, just using online marketing as far as different lead generation services that can help me to be able to get more of an expansive reach, um, along with social media. I would say that just developing a system and a plan, marketing pitch in order to gain business outside of the state for traveling services, chef services, for people that are looking for, like I said, a luxury experience, a memorable moment for their occasion. We pride ourselves in professionalism and giving just more than food, but an actual uh, interactive experience for the host and the guests in order to just create a more special moment for whatever's going on in a client's life. We want to make sure that we are giving the best of the best as far as quality of food, timeliness, and we want to exuberate that even on outside of the local services. So there's developing systems to where it makes sense for us and the team with traveling, lodging, workplace areas, things like that, and just being able to make it make sense on the logistics side. So there is a way to expand your reach nationally. Just develop a plan. Still find the same niche in multiple areas. You do not have to stick with local, which will expand your business significantly because there's clients for you around where you're at, but there's definitely clients for you all over the place. So do not limit yourself, and the whole world is your territory.
Awesome. And Oscar, you're based in Italy, so I think one thing that is really interesting is how you go about collaborating with others from Silicon Valley. Maybe can you share about that, and then also just managing expectations when you're working with clients?
Yeah. So I hope that my microphone is now working perfectly because I don't know why I saw some people in the chat saying that they couldn't hear me. You hear me well right now, right?
Yeah, we could all hear you. I think they wanted you to speak in Italian instead.
Okay. Well, I could do it. So at the moment, I am not collaborating with companies from the Silicon Valley. When I mentioned Silicon Valley, it's because like 5 years ago, I was selected for a program. I was finishing my university, so I was selected for a program to go visiting tech giants in the Silicon Valley. When it comes to collaborating with companies, I don't have clients in Italy, so I use places like Collabs or my social media in order to find potential clients and potential collaborations. For example, on LinkedIn, I have some people reaching out to collaborate with me, meaning in my service delivery, meaning not as a customer, as a client, but as a collaborator for my team. So since I don't work with Italian companies, but I work mainly with companies from the US or the UK. So social media is really important because with the content that I create and that I upload to my social media, I'm able to attract potential customers, of course, and also potential collaborators for my service delivery. And then I always have calls with people after I have a talk, like on LinkedIn, for example, or like, for example, with Collab. That's also a great way to get to know other professionals and other people. I hope that this answers your question.
Yeah, no, definitely. And Kailah, what about you? I know you work with nonprofits. How do you go about just also, managing expectations with clients and just really building from there?
Yeah, so collaboration for me looks like community building because a lot of my work is in the community. So that looks like touching base with the folks around you in your neighborhood, getting involved in different groups and community groups, and being able to really have your pulse on what's happening around you. Like just staying up to date on like current events, staying up to date on your community needs and seeing who are those folks that are really making a difference in that space or what organizations are making a difference. So for me, that's what collaboration really comes down to, is building a community. And like even being a part of Collab has helped me, expand my community, right? So a lot of times I feel like we think about leads or we think about collaboration only in terms of profit building, but there is equity in social collaboration and social equity. Kind of how Chef Stephen mentioned about social media, and the same thing with Oscar. Like there are a lot of different ways to collaborate to then elevate your business. For me, it just tends to be more on a ground, face-to-face level and not as much digital. While digital, community and building is also very important, and social media is also very important. For me, like just to kind of differentiate myself, it is a lot of FaceTime, a lot of on the ground, a lot of action in that way. But then what happens is you start to become known as a trusted source in your community, and then you get recommended, and then further collaborations happen.
Awesome.
Nowadays, videos work pretty well. I think that nowadays, if you wanted to establish your personal brand, videos are so important. And since Kailah, you you create videos for as a profession, you know it for sure.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. So that's the funny part about it, is I help a whole bunch of people communicate digitally. And I also, like, that is very true. It's just that using video production, I mean, it's kind of one of those things that you need. I mean, the same thing with Chef Steven. Like, I'm sure that showing people the experience makes people want to engage in what you have going on. And Oscar, being able to communicate to folks your services like through video, and makes people say like, oh wow, this could work for me too. It's so much better than like putting out a statement or a press release. A video will speak 1,000 words. So you're absolutely right.
Yeah, and I can say that because I create videos that I upload to my YouTube channel, of course, to communicate what is possible to do with business automation. But at the beginning, it's so hard to get started. Meaning, for example, the lighting. It took me a couple of days just to understand how to put the lights, in a video. So yeah.
It can be tough. That's why you gotta hire me. No.
Yeah, well, make sure you all drop your link in the chat there so everyone can get a hold of you. And but also it's on the website as well. I think, moving into 2024, what are you all, Kailah, Oscar, seeing to take advantage of, whether, Oscar, you do automation, so whether it's tool like Zapier, and I'll drop the link there, but Zapier makes you happier if anyone doesn't know. But what, any advice for people moving forward into 2024, and you as well too, Chef Steven, I love what you're doing in marketing as well. On the food and the social media. I'm always hungry looking at your channel. So if we could keep it under 45 seconds, thank you.
Okay, so definitely artificial intelligence is becoming a thing. So what I can recommend is to always start off with mapping out your processes, and because artificial intelligence is not a silver bullet. So I actually created a video on that, on like the 3 pillars that you need to have in place before you start with the artificial intelligence. So this is my suggestion. Always start with mapping out your processes and understand what processes have the most impact in your business, and start automating those.
I
For
would,
me, oh, you can go
no,
ahead.
okay, awesome. I would say recognize what your main goal for the year is. Recognize what is the most important part of the business that you would like to work on and improve for this year, and break it down. Break it down into reasonable steps for you to be able to obviously achieve those goals and exceed those goals. Do not overwhelm yourself by feeling like you need to do everything all at once. If you want to make a certain revenue for the year. All right, we have 12 months in a year. Break it down. How much do you need to make a month in order to get this revenue? And then break it down. How much do you need to make a week? It would be so much more refreshing to see that your goals are not as hard or as far away as you think in order to achieve and keep a consistent pace to be on track with those goals. So have a main goal, break it down to smaller goals. Remember, there's turtle wins the race through endurance. You don't have to rush anything. Just take your time, be authentic, genuine, always over deliver and under promise in order to gain the best results for your clients. Okay.
And then I would say just look into like what are some capacity, like everything that they said was excellent. And just from a different perspective is like, what does it look like to have capacity building within your organization? So look at what is taking up a lot of your time and then saying like, okay, cool, what can I outsource? How can I build capacity within my own organization to be able to go out there and maximize and be the most efficient to try to touch, some more dollars for 2024.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.